Welcome to Gaiman Reviews. I am Adam. So, slightly different episode layout from what we had last week. What I said I was going to do last week, I think there's only one thing in common between last week and this week. That would be the Audible original Sandman, which I'm listening to. I'm at episode number 15. So I've got like 4 hours left, I think. I'm loving it so far. The voice acting cast is phenomenal, but we knew that going into it when they announced the voice cast. That's what really got me excited for this, is seeing who was going to be doing it. But I think that continuing this trend, two other people can say that we can continue the trend of the second comic book character they play is better than the first. We have Ben Affleck better as Batman, than as Daredevil. We have a few of those, and the whatever is after is usually better than the first. This one was going to be hard when I saw James McAvoy was going to be playing Morpheus, and his Morpheus is better than his Professor X, and Kat Dennings. I think Kat Dennings really nails the voice of Death. The only voice casting choice I didn't quite like was, I don't think that Michael Sheen was the best choice for Lucifer. And I also don't like Taron Egerton's John Constantine. Granted, that could just be that, and I think I said this when they announced the voice cast, there is a certain actor who hears there's a role for John Constantine somewhere and is like, let me grab my my jacket and my half pulled down tie real quick, and he's done it in everything: animated movies, live action. I'm talking about Matt Ryan from the Constantine TV show, Legends of Tomorrow, every DC animated movie that's featured John Constantine for the last few years, The City of Demons, most recently Justice League Dark, Apocalypse War, all that kind of good stuff. They pull him in anytime they play him, and I think that because he's the person I get, and like, I feel like his Constantine is like, there are very few actors who I think are synonymous with the role they play, and you don't really see anyone else playing that role. I think he's one of them. You won't be able to replace Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, but you won't. This is similar. I don't think you'll be able to replace John Constantine with anyone but Matt Ryan. It's not to the detriment to the story. It's to that. Now the sound effects and the narration and all of that are very good at building the ambiance of it being horror. At its core, Sandman started as a horror anthology, and it really leans into that. Like, there's a chapter early on, 24 Hours, that is just creepy, and the narration really lends itself into it. And all of that voice actors do a great job of really selling how disturbed it is. If you have Audible, even if you don't have Audible, sign up for Audible. Get your free credits to get this audio book. It's definitely worth it. I'm loving it so far. At this point, there's very little they can do that make me not like it, because this quality, it's so high quality and so worth it. I want DC to do more of these. I want more audio dramas from DC characters. You know what they should do? Okay, I hear a lot of Henry Cavill needs to come back as Superman. Do Superman Smashes the Klan again. Redo it completely. Bring back Henry Cavill voicing Superman. I think that would be something that would, be a sales driver. I think that I see a lot of people saying The Long Halloween should be adapted into a movie. No, the Long Halloween. Do that as what's it called? Do that as an audio drama. Do what was the other one that I was thinking of? Onomatopoeia. I'm sorry. The Green Arrow run with Onomatopoeia, or even Batman. Cacophony. Because that heavily leans into sound effects and noises and all that kind of stuff. But if you have not checked this out already, definitely go and check it out. You can get it on Audible. It's only on Audible. It's not anywhere else. Unlike what we're going to be talking about next week, Captain Afra, Dr. Afra's audio story, which is now out. I have high hopes for it. I have not started listening to it. I picked it up. I've not started listening to it yet because it is, what's it called? I have to finish what I'm currently listening to before going into that. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Now, our second thing we're going to talk about today is DC Universe, which is currently in the closing stages. What I mean by that is it's currently on its way out. They've discontinued their annual membership. Doom Patrol, which is one of their better shows, has moved off of there onto HBO Max. Harley Quinn is coming to HBO Max. It's not going to be continuing any further. It appears. It very much so does not appear to be continuing any further. One of the shows that this streaming service produced is Stargirl, which is also co-airing on on CW. That's what it is, on the CW network. Now, we can look at a lot of the failings of this network and see where it came from. And a lot of the time with a streaming service like this, it's about what you have, what you are. Look at when it started. There was Titans, and I think there was a lot of mistrust towards Titans out of the gate, because it didn't quite look good. Like we're used to a certain level of quality coming from DC's live action television, and here's the thing: it gets a lot of crap for being like too much on the relationship drama, too much of the CGI isn't great. But here's the thing. Every year, we can reliably say we're getting 22 hours of Flash content, 22 hours of Arrow content, 22 hours of Supergirl content. They need to, what's it called? They need to stretch that out over a long stretch of time. And if you're going to stretch it out that long, you got to add in other things. And they do it reasonably well by saying we're going to add in relationship information, and it's like character. I mean, it's just characterization is what it is. And then people are complaining about it, so. And that's what I like about it. Is like I watch the show every week, and every week we get a little bit more, and we learn more about the characters. And there's so much nuance to the characters because we have so much time to spend with them, and see them interacting with people. You gain a lot about the characters. Now, here's the thing. Titans looked like a massive departure from what we had gotten before, and it didn't look like we were going to be doing the comics. It looked like we were trying to do more of what failed in the movies, the dark, the gritty, the Nolan-esque approach to everything, or the Snyder-esque approach to everything, and that didn't work in the movies, obviously, because the box office reflected it didn't work. And then Wonder Woman happens, and Wonder Woman does well, and so Titans happens, and then if I'm going to start a streaming service and that's going to be my tentpole starter, I'm like, that's not really good for me to bring, that's not enough for me to jump on. What made me jump on DC Universe was Doom Patrol. Because Doom Patrol looked amazing, and it looked like they were going to be doing what made the comic good, and that's kind of what it is. It's like when you listen to Kevin Feige talk over at Marvel, he's like, well, this has worked in the comics, and this is sold in the comics for 50, 60 years. Why are we going to change it? And I think that's the kind of thing that we have with this, where it's like Titans felt like a massive departure, and it didn't draw enough people in. Then Doom Patrol did, but at that point it wasn't enough to save the sinking ship. So then Swamp Thing happens, and Swamp Thing is incredibly expensive to make and to maintain the sets and all of that from season to season, so it got canceled. So the last new show they had, and I think it should be the last new show they have, period, is going to be Stargirl, which is going to be moving full-time to the CW after this season. Which means that next season on The Flash, we're going to have multiverse shenanigans again, which is going to be cool. I'm all for it. Here's the thing, though. I really like this show. I've started it. I got up to, where was I the last episode I saw? I think it was the episode where they got Hourman involved. I'm a little behind, but we're talking mostly about episode 1. Episode 1, I think, has the same issue Shazam has, where the characterization of the lead hero is inconsistent, depending on what's going on. And Shazam, the issue is, when you watch it, Shazam and Billy feel like two different characters. It's not the same character aged up. It's just, Billy is sullen and, introverted and kind of like, shy and just depressed all the time because he's going through a lot of things emotionally. And then he becomes Shazam, and he's an entirely different character. And I feel like that's similar here with Stargirl. It goes back and forth. Her personality's kind of wildly all over the place. In a way that's, wildly inconsistent. They do kind of get their traction on that, but it works out. It's a general run-of-the-mill kind of origin story. It doesn't really, break any new ground. It's not like you're learning anything new. She finds the staff, takes to her, and, but it's definitely worth watching. If you're not watching Stargirl, you can pick it up on the CW app, which you can get on the Xbox and PlayStation. You can watch it on CW On Demand. You can watch it on DC Universe if you still have that. And it's definitely worth watching. Which brings us to our final story of the day. Again, wildly out of left field. Paper Mario, the Oragami King. I think that's what it's called. I've played enough of it. I should know the title of this game. The new Paper Mario game. We'll just call it that. The new Paper Mario game. Here's the thing about the new Paper Mario game, whose name I'm forgetting. It's fine. It's kind of not what you would okay, how do I put this eloquently? If you're a fan of Paper Mario or the Thousand Year Door or I would say even Super Paper Mario and hated Sticker Star and Color Splash, this game's probably not something you will like, because it's kind of more of the same. That said, here's the thing about this game. It's different, but it doesn't feel different. You know what it feels like more than Paper Mario in the past? It feels more like Legend of Zelda. And like Breath of the Wild. Like, in terms of not, quality or... Well, no, I mean, it's still a beautiful game. But I mean, in terms of just what you're... Like, how the battle system works. Where it's like, you're kind of, like, as you progress through the game, your HP levels up. You collect items. The items have different strengths. They can break after a while. You have to get new ones. And all of that. And you never really see anyone criticize, Breath of the Wild for that, yet this game gets wildly criticized for that. And it's because it's a departure from the series. It's not how the series used to be. Because people just don't like change. Like, the people complain about how, like, it's like, oh, the characters look like stationary. It's like, I don't like those complaints, because I feel like this is something completely unique. like what we're looking at here is something completely different from what we've seen before, kind of. And it's like here, like the game is, them paper, and it's not like they ever strayed away from it, them, being paper, being part of the story, because that's always been how it worked. Like it's always been the, like it's stylized like it's in a storybook, but at the end of the day, they're still like, doing that. They're still what's it called? They're still paper characters. Like in Thousand Year Door, he would fold into a paper airplane or into a paper boat, so he can do things, or turn sideways because he's made of paper and he can do that. Like it's not something that's new. It's, the paperness of the game played into it almost from the beginning. So that's not a new thing. So here's what I would recommend. Go online and watch some gameplay footage. Okay? If playing it that way is something that interests you, then play the game. Don't assume that change is bad and saying that change for the sake of change is, an issue. Because that's not what it is. It's not change for the sake of change. It's, we're trying something new. And this is them trying something new. And this is really, at this point, half the franchise has been this style. So, I think this is going to be sticking around. So if you want to play it, then this is how you're going to play it. And if you don't like playing it this way, check out Bug Fables, which, again, borders on plagiarism with how closely it tracks, but still. Definitely check it out. So, to sum up today's episode, all three things are, worth looking at. Typically, I don't talk about things I don't, why put out hate when we can not. So, definitely check out Sandman on Audible. Definitely check out Stargirl on the CW or DC Universe, or however you watch this stuff. And definitely worth checking out Paper Mario, the Origami King, and not just writing it off. It is really fun. If you liked, that kind of, like, the puzzles are a little easy. That's probably my biggest complaint, is the puzzles are a little easy and they give you the solution right in the beginning. But definitely worth checking out. And you can check those out wherever you buy your video games. So next week we will be discussing episode 2 of Stargirl. I'll rewatch the episode. We'll talk about episode 2 of Stargirl. We'll talk about the second Dragonheart movie that I've been putting off talking about. And we will be talking about... I had something else written down. I just don't have my list in front of me. Also, tomorrow we'll have an episode, or probably Sunday, actually. We'll have an episode about most of the news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con at home, and we'll be doing that at some point, either tomorrow or on on Friday, or not Friday, on Sunday. Depending on how much news there is and how we can break it up and what needs to be covered. How much news comes out of Lucasfilm Publishing today at 3 o'clock in 2 hours from when I'm recording this. So until then, have a great rest of your day.